Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to have a bit of a discussion over here. And that's the fact that Sigrika, the newest unit arriving in Wuthering Waves 3.2, has been griefed harder than I think any unit in this game has ever been griefed before. I think that when it comes to the marketing department over at Kuro Games, I think they decided to just kill her. Legitimately, I think they just did. Because one thing that's kind of obvious from the live stream is that there's not really a lot of hype surrounding her, and there's actually just more hype surrounding the other units that they've obviously teased a lot. And, well, there it is. There seems to be a long-standing connection between her and the Threnodian, Aleph 1. She seems more story relevant than Sigrika, and of course, let's just be real here, this is the unit that I feel like is going to be on the anniversary banner for 3.3, right? You already know from like all the other stuff here, she's got like the whole like mommy Miko aesthetic, all of that. The Glacio, probably Glacio Chafe, is also likely going to have resonance modes too, so that she has like, you know, two different ways that you can play her, much like a unit like Ameth has, you know, her Tune Rupture mode, and then she also has her Fusion Burst mode, right? Like we all know about, can't perform this action in battle. Who the fuck am I fighting? Oh my god. You got the Tune Rupture mode, and then you got the Fusion Burst mode over here. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this unit ends up having the same type of capabilities, and the reality of this type of character, right, is that they're kind of like two units in one. And of course, this is also supposed to be a reference to, I'm pretty certain she is supposed to be a reference to Alpha, one of the most popular characters just in like the Kuro franchise, who's, you know, Crimson Weave, all of that shit. And, well, I might as well just show a little bit about what I'm talking about over here. This is Spider 2B's guide on the unit that was released like 2 years ago. A PGR guide video with got 274k views. That is the type of character she is. And like, I guess she has like a motorcycle and all this other shit. You can probably just see over here, yeah, this is like her ultimate and everything, and she does like all this crazy shit, bro. Like, remember, this was 2 years ago. Kuro has clearly been holding on to a unit like this for like a very, very, very long time. She's got the whole like katana aesthetic and all of that. The crazy ass moveset where she like is just, I don't even know what she's doing here. Like, she does like a crazy Augusta slash. There have already been a ton of references to her and like her moveset in the game already. But what's obvious, right, is that we haven't actually gotten this character with like the katana going around and just like fucking shit up, right? And I know this is probably like not a great video to be using for like her actual gameplay. There is a lot of cutscenes in this game. But there's a reason why people have been like excited and asking for her this entire time. And I think that this anniversary, and oh my gosh, I didn't even realize, like, yeah, they basically look the fucking same, right? It makes sense that she would arrive for this anniversary because she has been teased a bunch in the Lahai Roy story. There's a great video by Life Lessons that we've reacted to that kind of breaks down the whole like Miko aesthetic and all of that. Kuro gave her for free in PGR. Yeah, I don't think this unit is being given for free, to be honest. Hey, that's entirely a possibility. But the main focus that I'm talking about over here is the fact that Hiyuki, all of this, she's absolutely going to mog Sigrika. And Kuro has intentionally put a like noticeable story segment and even an entire event surrounding the Lady Miko, the Ghost Miko, all of that, into the game in this fucking update. And I'm gonna be honest. How is Sigrika supposed to feel about the fact that you guys did this? And then they also showed this other unit over here. Like, bro, like, I'm gonna be real with you, man. You guys just killed her. That's the thing. You guys at Kuro Games just killed her. Because you've given so many of these other teasers for like all of these other units. And I'm going to be honest. I feel like Sigrika is going to have a pretty like fun, like goofy little role in the story. But aside from that, there's no hype at all. And it ends up making the rest of the patch, right? And the rest of the story kind of just feel like a bit of a stopgap until we like, this feels like we're kind of like pausing to take on a bit of a side quest before we actually get back to the Miko and all of that because of this line over here, right? Where she's supposed to be related to the Thernoidian and she's going to be in the after story. I feel like this might be one of the first quests in the game where people are looking more forward to the after story in 3.2 than the actual main story that we're going to be having in part 1. Because remember, she's related to Aleph 1, and, when's the last time that we saw Aleph 1? Oh, right, our daughter got, like, kidnapped by the Thernoidian. She's, like, trapped and is, like, about to, like, die or something. So it's, like, it's just a little bit odd, right? And it does make you kind of, like, wonder, was this the best way for ourselves to get into a new character's banner by shoving one of the... Sorry, I didn't even realize the frame that we were on. Like, I do realize the term shoving something in our face is like, yes, there's two things getting shoved in our face, actually. Because one thing that we actually saw, guys, is that this after story, they didn't show this shit, but they showed it in, like, the version preview. You're gonna see, like, Lucilla, like, crying and somebody, like, dying or something. Bro, who cares about this? Even over here, the segue with the after story looks more interesting. You basically already got 2 huge marketings for Lucilla over here. Then you got all the stuff with, like, Hiyuki and stuff like that as well. I'm gonna be honest, guys. What the fuck? It almost makes me wonder, shit. Should they just have deleted Sigrika from the game? Maybe they should have just deleted her from the game, bro. Or, and this is honestly what my suggestion would have been, I really just think they should have, like, given her out for free. I'm gonna be entirely real with you. I like, this is I think undeniably the one unit on the roster that I think everyone feels like she should have just been given for free. Because who the fuck is gonna pull her knowing what the hell is coming up in the patch? I'm pretty sure people would rather pull Lucilla than her. People definitely gonna pull Hiyuki over her. And I'm gonna be just being entirely real, even with this other teased unit, right? The one with, like, the pink and the blue hair. I feel like people would rather pull her as well. I think it's rough. I think it's just an unfortunate situation, and if I'm being entirely real with you, even if she was given out for free, you'd probably then end up pulling her weapon. You probably, maybe even think about pulling Chu Yan, who's probably going to be her best in slot sub DPS too. I think that giving her out for free would have actually led to more resources and expenditures and stuff from the player base this patch. Because most people are just going to skip her, not pull her weapon, and if she was given out for free, then more people would have likely spent just getting her weapon because she was free. But instead, she's not being given out for free, she's just being put into the game, and you've gotten teasers, crazy teasers, massive teasers, for 3 other units on her debut, and... yeah, I'm gonna be honest, right? Who the fuck is supposed to use the new Fusion Burst set? The set that Amyth's sub DPS is supposed to use, right? When she's on Fusion Burst mode. Because we all know that this shit is in the game too, right? Chromatic Foam. Bro, this thing doesn't have a fucking user, and it's not gonna have a fucking user next patch. That's why most people are speculating, right? It's supposed to be that, you know, this blue-haired thingy over... Yeah, most people are assuming it's gonna be her. So it's even like... you're further incentivized just based off of just theory crafting and the fact that this set doesn't have a user yet. And guess what? I feel like most people are interested in building out an Amyth team over Sigrika too. So it's like, all 3 of these units are giving you reasons to skip Sigrika. You got her as a potential Amyth partner, and then you got this dynamic duo over here. Electro Flare, probably, right? I think most people are putting money on Electro Flare. And then you got Glacio Chafe over here, too. Come on, man. What are we doing here? What are we doing here, Kuro Games? Because I think this is one of the worst business decisions they could have made. I think it's going to end up working out fine for them because I think Hiyuki's going to break another record when it comes to revenue. But giving this unit out for free, guys, would have, I think, led to more spending overall because of that willingness for people to pull the weapon, when now they're just not even going to pull the character and they're not going to pull the weapon. They're just not going to pull anything. And when you factor in that the second half, bro, like, holy fuck. Bro, they're rerunning these two units. My take is that they're just rerunning these two so that they don't waste slots on the anniversary banner. Legitimately, that's my viewpoint. They're just running them so they don't waste slots on the anniversary banner. And then Linnae is just solid, right? I think Linnae might actually be the only thing that gets pulled this patch. I think that this is actually going to be the only unit that ends up getting pulled, but guess what? A lot of fucking people have her from 3.0 when she first debuted. 3.0. I think that this is a tragedy. I think Sigrika is a tragedy. And when you kind of factor in that there's like, you know, this is like a solar lunar celebration, and Zhang Liao, the first free unit we had in Wuwa, was during like the Moonlight Festival, whatever thing that we had in Jinzhou. I feel like now would have been a good time to do it. It would have kind of like lined up with like a festival, giving out free units and stuff like that. And I genuinely do think it would have led to more actual sales. But instead, it's like, we'll see. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is Wuthering Waves' like lowest revenue performance month in history. But does it really actually matter that much when 3.1 broke every single record that we had for the game? Probably not. But I think it would have been nice to see like some lever of like, you know, slight generosity after that. But maybe we're going to see it all during the anniversary. Maybe they'll do what they did for Alpha, right? Maybe they will actually just give out this unit for free. Who knows, right? Maybe they'll do the exact same thing that they did over here. And then you'll have, maybe they'll give her out for free. I don't believe that, though. Yeah, I think Kuro expects you to use those double top-up bonus resets to get her. Yeah. Yeah. And then they'll use that double residence mode thing as a way to sell her. You wanna know why? Because if this Hiyuki unit isn't, like, good with Chisa, that would be the stupidest thing that these developers could ever decide to do, right? Because then you would have, like, the two Japanese units. One's, like, the Shrine Maiden, and then the other is this, right? If they don't work together on the same team, what are you doing? Go to Cherished Items. Oh, yeah, I don't use this unit enough to have unlocked them, sorry. But I do think she has, like, one of, like, the shrine things. Like the charms as, yeah, I think I've used this unit, like, 2 times in the overworld. So, yeah, my intimacy level is at 0. Like I said, I hate this unit because she sucks. And I do think that she's gonna get better. Yeah, some people are, like, theorizing that, like, this is Chisa's mom. Or they're theorizing that this is, like, a future version of Chisa that's, like, going backwards in the past. Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, like, they also have, like, the same eye color. Yeah, did you see that? Yeah, you didn't notice that, did you, bucko? Yeah, they got the same eye color. That's kind of... Yeah, they got to be related in some way, right? Right. I think that Hiyuki is just going to absolutely murder the hype of Sigrika, like I said before. I think she's going to be, like, essentially a Sentinel equivalent. And you know what that means? When you have a Sentinel equivalent coming out in the game, like an Ameth, like a Cartithia, all of that, the rest of the banners in this game are, surrounding them, are kind of just absolutely cooked. And this unit over here, Sigrika, yeah, just pretend she don't exist. Yeah, this shit is over. Yeah, I'm debating whether or not to even do a guide on this unit, because I feel like nobody's gonna pull her. But if she was free, that's a different story, isn't it? Protective Charm. It will always protect you, Chisa, and like her mother gave it to her. So, yeah, maybe her mother's related to the Miko, or maybe her mother is the Miko, right? That's where a lot of the theory crafting is coming from over here. So, there you go. Yeah, that's again, you only get to see this if you actively use Chisa in the overworld, but if you're doing that, then I question how the fuck you're even doing that when the character is so bad. But yeah, it's a rare thing that only the top 1% of the player base is ever going to actually see. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Rest in peace, Sigrika, and hail Hiyuki. See you all next time.